stranger till you're wrong. To solve all problems, it starts with real talk. Real talk. It's 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 real talk. Yeah. Welcome to Real Talk with your host, Chip Washington. It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk.
And here we go. On this Monday, July 15th, 2024, 6 o'clock straight up, which means it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for another edition of Real Talk Memphis. I am your humble host. My name is Chip Washington. Good to have you aboard. It is hot. It's too hot to be messing around outside, so you might as well come inside and get where it's cool and you can relax and enjoy the next hour from now till 7 o'clock of some great conversation with some great guests and a pretty decent host as well. It is, like I said, it's the heat is on. It has been all weekend. It was today. It will be again tomorrow. So that what the rules apply. If you're going to be outside for any period of time, make sure you hydrate. Plenty of fluids. Of course, water is the preferred thing, and you might want to reload with some electrolytes if you're out there sweating and things like that. We have a good show for you tonight, but before we get into all of that, how do you get this fine piece of radio broadcasting? I'm so glad you asked that question. And I actually have the answer. You can catch us a number of ways. We're live right now on 91.7 FM. That would be WYXR on the FM dial. You can catch us live right now. You can also catch us live on the WYXR app. We are on the TuneIn app. Just put in Real Talk Memphis, and we should pop right up. Of course, we are live streaming tonight on Facebook Live. If you choose to check us out that way, and if not, of course, the next day or two after we post the show, you can catch us later on this week on YouTube. And, of course, wherever you get your podcast. Did you know we were a podcast? We're a podcast. So now you know. So we're happy to be here, of course, myself and Lola, and doing our thing. Lola just got back from a nice vacation, and, we all need to get away and relax and unwind and recharge the batteries and the whole 9 yards. But glad to have her back. Everything went well. She got a nice tan, too, ladies and gentlemen. So, before we get too far into this, let's talk about the guest list for tonight. First guest is, of course, the recently named new president of Lemoyne-Owen College. His name is Dr. Christopher B. Davis. He'll be joining us in just a few minutes to talk about, what his plans are for the future of that fine HBCU. A little bit later on, we will be talking with the president and CEO of Meriton. And her name is Melanie Keller. She will be talking to us about a brand new program that her organization is part of that will help individuals who are dealing with family members who are dealing with dementia. It's not only a cost thing, but it is a care thing as well. And it's very difficult on both ends of the scale. So Melanie is going to tell us a little bit about that and what they have to offer for those who are having to deal with loved ones who are dealing with dementia issues. And a little bit later on in the broadcast, Nicole Grida, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce her last name, but she is the new CEO of Memphis Area Legal Services, and she will join us to talk about why she decided to take the helm. She's been a long-time practicing attorney here in Memphis in the Mid-South, but now she helms this organization, and she will let us know, of course, Memphis Area Legal Services deals with people with low income who nevertheless do need some legal advice and counsel every now and again. So she'll talk to us about that a little bit later on. First things first, though, ladies and gentlemen, it's your birthday. If it's your birthday, this is how we celebrate here on Real Talk Memphis. It's the shout-out time of the broadcast, and this is where I say, hit it, Lola. Happy birthday. Happy birthday going out to the following folks. Diedrich McGee, church member of mine over at Full View Missionary Baptist Church. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Diedrich. Also, happy birthday wishes going out to Calvin Blackiston. Dina Webb is celebrating her birthday today, as is Mary Littleton and Denise Banks. That's a very short list, but fear not, ladies and gentlemen, because Lola is back, and Lola has something to say.
Yes, a very, very happy birthday to Mr. Aiden Sy. He will be turning 1 on Saturday, and Lola is going all the way down to Huntsville, Alabama to DJ his first birthday party.
Oh, no, you didn't. Oh, 1 year old. That's precious. That's very sweet. So while you're on the mic, you had a great time, did you? Did you enjoy yourself on your getaway?
I had a blast. I can't wait to go back.
Can't wait to go back.
Yes.
Just got back and can't wait to go back.
Can't wait to go back.
Well, we're glad you're back.
Yes.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Lola. Let's take a look at some news and notes. But before we do that, we had several deaths to talk about. Dr. Ruth Westheimer. How many of you have been around long enough to remember her? She was 96 years of age. She was the sex doctor, the sex therapist. She had her own show. She had her own radio show. She had her own TV show for many, many years. Dr. Ruth is what most people know her by. She died over the weekend at the age of 96. Richard Simmons, the exercise guru. Richard Simmons died over the weekend as well. He was 76 years old. He celebrated his 76th birthday on Friday, and he sadly passed away on Saturday. And for those of you, I don't know what generation this would be, but Beverly Hills 90210 folks. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Gen X. Lola said Gen X. Shannon Doherty died of cancer. She'd been battling cancer for quite some time. She died at the very young age of 53 years of age. So to each of them, we express our sincere and deepest condolences, and may their memories always be a blessing. All right, some news and notes, ladies and gentlemen. Many of us are more than aware of what happened Saturday evening in Pennsylvania, Butler to be exact, where there was an assassination attempt on the life of the former President Donald Trump. At his rally, he was shot, I guess, winged in the ear as the bullet went by. Unfortunately, another man, 50 years old, volunteer fireman, died as a result of that shooting, trying to apparently protect his family. 2 other individuals were seriously injured, but as of today, they're in stable condition. The gunman was all of 20 years of age. His name is Thomas Crooks. He fired from a rooftop that was about 149 yards away from where the president was speaking. So now the question is, why didn't someone, patrol that area? Be it local police or Secret Service? There's a lot of questions. And if you watch some of the news footage and you heard some video, there were people who actually saw this kid on that roof crawling into a position with a gun, and let law enforcement know. Law enforcement apparently did not heed that warning, and of course we saw what happened with that. Let me see here. Of course, Crooks was killed at the scene. Donald Trump's going to be okay. Today is the first day of the Republican National Convention, which is being held in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Also today, the former president, and Republican nominee named his running mate. He is J.D. Vance. He is a 39-year-old Republican from Ohio. He's a junior senator, only been in Congress 1 year, maybe 2 years. So we will see, a lot going on there, big convention. You know how these things go. So a lot of excitement on the Republican side of things. A bit closer to home. You remember the woman who was suspected of shooting the woman, the employee at the Church's Chicken about a week or so ago in the drive-thru? Well, she's been on the run ever since. Well, she's no longer on the run. She was arrested and is now in custody. This happened in Orange Mound on July 11th. Monica Williams is the suspected suspect who is wanted for first-degree murder for the shooting that killed Anitra West. Apparently, as more information starts to come out, these two women have known each other for a while, and apparently they've had some disagreements in the past, which led to the tragic shooting of Miss West. Apparently, the suspect, Monica Williams, turned herself in to authorities this afternoon. The investigation into a shooting death that occurred last night in Holly Springs, Mississippi, where 4 people were found shot to death at a home in Holly Springs. The deceased victims included 3 women and 1 man. As of now, or at least before I came on the air, there's still no suspects in this case. A very tragic situation as the investigation unfolds and is continuing. And one more thing for folks who like to drive real fast around here, the city. Yeah, Lola raised her hand. There is an all-out effort again from area law enforcement, the area law enforcement community, Bartlett and Collierville and Germantown and the Shelby County Sheriff's Office. They're going to be having increased patrols on streets and highways, just in case you feel like you want to, skirt some speed laws. They are looking for individuals. And when I came down here on 40, I happened to see a couple of Tennessee state troopers stopping some folks. And I'm sure, besides greeting them and saying hello, they issued some high-speed driving certificates. So if you don't want to be involved in that, please slow it down. Lola always has something to say. That is a look at news and notes on this Monday evening. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to get into the broadcast. What do you say, ladies and gentlemen? Sit back, relax, get a cool one, and listen to a cool program. This is Real Talk Memphis. I am Chip. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Support for WYXR comes from the Orpheum Theater, announcing the Orpheum's 2024-2025 Broadway season, featuring 8 shows direct from Broadway, including MJ, Moulin Rouge, Hamilton, The Wiz, and more. More information and tickets available at
The Soulsville Foundation is proud to support WYXR, offering fun family events all summer long, including the Stax Music Academy Summer Music Camp for kids grades 6 through 12, and the Stax Museum's Free Family Day every second Saturday of the month with crafts, music, and food trucks. Information on all Soulsville events and music memorabilia are at soulsvillefoundation.org.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday, hot, steamy Monday evening in the city. Chip with you. And very happy to have our first guest with us. Of course, many of us know Lemoyne Owen College is a community treasure. It is a treasured HBCU. I guess, one of the fine institutions in our city. Well, a little while back, they launched a search for a new president. They found someone to fill the interim role, and he was so good, they offered him the full-time permanent role, and he is on our show tonight. Dr. Christopher B. Davis joins me now. And Dr. Davis, thank you for being here tonight. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Chip. Thank you for the invitation to come on and talk about LOC.
Absolutely that. Well, thank you for accepting and coming on. And again, congratulations to you on being named the permanent president of this fine Institute of Learning. You go back a ways with Lemoyne-Owen College. What is your history with that school?
Well, Chip, I spent, of course, I've been a supporter of the school for at least the last 25 years as a local church pastor. But of course, I spent 7 years on the board of trustees.
So being on the board of trustees gives you obviously an inside look at the operations and how things go and how things work in the whole 9 yards. How long ago did they appoint you the interim president of the college?
I came on a year ago. What year is this? 24.
24. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I started my service as interim in June of 23.
Okay, and so obviously through the course of time, you started to see some of the things that needed to be changed and maybe looked at, and maybe adjusted and fixed and things like that. And they recently appointed you as the permanent president of the school. And from what I have seen and from what I have heard, and I'm not just saying this, you're a very popular choice. A lot of people were very, very happy that you were given the permanent position. Of course, as you were the interim, what types of things were you looking at? I know where things are now. We'll talk about that in a minute. But what were some of the things that you wanted to address as you assumed that interim position initially?
Well, interestingly enough, Chip, of course, some of the challenges that we faced when I came in as interim was, of course, low enrollment. We needed to address financial instability. But interestingly enough, neither of those two things were at the top of my personal list. Naturally, they were important to the board of trustees. They were important to the alumni and stakeholders.
Right.
But for me, the most pressing issue was the public profile of the institution, the narrative associated with Lemoyne. I was convinced that if we could get that right, all of the other stuff would take care of itself.
That is very interesting in terms of the profile. So what did you, when you came in, what was your concern about that? What was the perceived profile, the public profile of Lemoyne-Owen from your perspective?
Absolutely. The fact that even when I say this for the purpose of this interview, Chip, it breaks my heart to say it out loud. As I moved about the city and talked about Lemoyne-Owen, and people would say, people would be honest about what our challenges have been. And they would always end the conversation by saying, Lemoyne-Owen is the best kept secret in the city. And I would cringe when I would hear it, because here's what I couldn't figure out. Memphis is a minority city.
Right.
It's a black city.
Right.
Number one.
Right.
This is the only HBCU in the city, and it's 162 years old. So how are you a black school in a black city, 162 years, and you're a secret?
So when you talked about that initially, and when you thought about that, how do you go about changing that profile, that perspective of this school? And one of the other things you talked about, was the enrollment issue. But what was your plan to raise the specter of profile of the school and give a more positive public perception? Because you're right, it's been around and the school's had challenges. We all know that for a long period of time. So how do you go about attacking that initially?
Well, the truth of the matter is, I knew I had to be intentional about reestablishing some relationships. There were some who felt like when they reached out to partner with the institution, that Lemoyne had not always been responsive, that that it was not the easiest place to get into. So one of the things that I tried to be intentional about was just engaging the city in a real way. I went on a listening tour. I talked to stakeholders. I talked to the philanthropic community. I talked to the students. I talked to the alum. You'll say, tell me what your perception is, where we missed it. And then I became intentional about sort of operating in public spaces, not as Chris Davis, but as the president of Lemoyne-Owen College.
And once you did that, did you start to convince folks to take a closer look, a more closer look at the school and what it is that you were trying to do?
Absolutely, because all of a sudden, number one, people were shocked that I'd actually showed up. That was the first thing. And then the second thing was, after a few minutes, they would say, this guy actually believes what he's saying. Mm-hmm. So, I didn't have a stump speech. I didn't have, I didn't memorize 5 fascinating points about Lamar and Owen. No, none of that good stuff. I simply reminded people, while it's true, we've had some missteps. But if you're going to tell the Lamar and Owen story, don't just tell the story about where we missed it, but let's also talk about the times we got it right and the contributions that we've made historically to this city.
Let's talk about that for a second. Lemoyne-Owen College is an HBCU.
Not just any HBCU, Chip. Here's the part of the story that we have to tell.
Okay.
We're the 5th oldest HBCU in the nation.
Wow. Okay, I did not know that.
Now that's right. Now what that means is, that means with Morehouse, Spelman, Howard, Hampton, and all of the other ones with larger profiles, when they were still just a dream, when they were still resonating in the heart of the founders, our doors were already open. We were already doing the work. So, and because of that, we're the source.
That's the kind of interest and enthusiasm I think probably is of great interest to a lot of people. One of the things that you are pushing for, and it looks like you're heading in that direction, is enrollment. Enrollment has been an issue. Low enrollment has been an issue at that college for quite a long period of time. What are you doing to ramp up the excitement and get these youngsters back to LOC?
Well, one of the things that we did this last year, of course, we went on what we call the President's Tour. Chip, I took a charter bus. I loaded up the cheerleaders, the dance team, the recruiters, the athletes, everybody that could get on the bus. A DJ, the mascot, and all we did was we reached out to local high schools and said, hey, can we bring the Lamar and Owen bus and come visit the seniors? And they said, come on. And that's what we started doing, because the sad part is you had students who live in Memphis in the Mid-South, right, who had never heard of Lamar and Owen.
That's sad. Right. Yeah. And obviously it has worked. I heard something or read something to the effect that you're looking for the highest enrollment with freshman class in quite a while. Did I get that right?
You got it absolutely right. I'm looking to bring in at least 300 new freshmen this fall.
That's a lot. That's a lot for that school, and obviously your bus tour, your city tour, has worked because you were informing people about a precious jewel of a school that maybe a lot of folks, as you just stated a minute ago, did not know about. What are some of the other things that you're looking at in terms of increased enrollment, and as we prepare to begin another school year, what else is on your radar?
Well, the thing is, for instance, I do know we've embraced this thing, and the campus has embraced it. I'm excited about it. That we refer to it as the Magic Manifesto.
Okay.
That these are the 4 things that we require of students at Lamar and Owen. And I'm going to be the champion of this as the president. Number 1, we expect our students to graduate in 4 years. I know the national trend is that it's taking students now 5.5 years to finish. I want my students out of here in 4 years.
Okay.
Number 2, I want them to be leaders. If ever there was a time that this city and this county needed leaders. Now, here's the reason I want to point that out, Chip, is because I'm unapologetic in the fact I am not training leaders for Atlanta, Birmingham, Nashville, Little Rock, or any of the metropolitan. I am training leaders for Memphis.
Okay.
For Memphis.
All right.
One of the things that Lemoyne can say that no other institution, not University of Memphis, not Rhodes, not Christian Brothers, none of them can say this, and that is 88% of the graduates from Lamar and Owen year over year stick and stay in Memphis. They get married here, they start families, they contribute to the economy, they become a part of the fabric of the city. So in a city where the Chamber of Commerce, where the city council, the mayor, everybody's talking about brain drain, losing our talent in our best and brightest to other areas. Why not invest in an institution that has demonstrated year after year that we can keep 88% of our graduates in this city?
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
So we want them to be leaders. Mm-hmm. Number 3, Chip, I need them to be global in their perspective. And that is to say, when you look at the majority of our students come from Memphis and Mid-South.
Right.
As crazy as this sounds in 2024, there's still boys and girls growing up in this city who've never been beyond 6 or 7 blocks of their neighborhood.
Right.
Every friend they've got, every classmate they've had, every teacher they've had looks like them. Mm-hmm. I need for them to understand that there is a world much bigger than their block.
Okay.
And that everything they do impacts someone beyond just themselves. Someone to be global in their perspective. And then, of course, the last thing, and the institution has to play a role in this, and that is I want my graduates to be market ready. I want them to be ready to contribute to the workforce when they get that diploma in their hand.
Well, you know what? I'm just sitting here listening to you and your energy and your passion, your excitement. Sold. I'm sold, man. I'm sold. I'm LOC ready. I'm just gonna tell you. You convinced me in less than 10 minutes. So I think
here's the thing, Chip. I'm telling you, everywhere I go, I tell people, and I recognize that we've got other people in the city who graduated from other HBCUs, and I'm good with that. Yeah. But for those that didn't, I'm saying to them, Lamont is your HBCU. If the University of Memphis is the city's university, then Lamont is the city's HBCU. We don't belong to South Memphis. We don't belong to 38126. We don't belong to black and brown people. We belong to the city. We're the city's HBCU.
You are the man. To Dr. Christopher Davis, ladies and gentlemen, president of Lemoyne Owen College. That's why I wanted him on this show, and you just heard why. Dr. Davis, congratulations again. They got the right one, and I look forward to your leadership, producing great things out of our HBCU here in the city, and you are invited to come back to this show anytime you want to. Thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate you.
Listen, Chip, thank you for having me on, and I can't wait to come back and tell you about all the magic that we're making at 807 Walker Avenue.
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, Dr. Christopher Davis. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Have a great night. We'll talk down the road for sure. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Now, that's how you kick off a broadcast. There you go on a hot, just miserable, on a humid and the whole 9 yards. You get in here and you sit down and you say, let me turn the radio on or whatever it is, however you're checking us out, and say, find out who's on Chip's show tonight. Well, there you go. That's how we do it. Dr. Christopher Davis. Absolutely. Let's take another break. When we come back, we will continue on this Monday evening. Yes, it is. It is Real Talk Memphis. I'm Chip. Another quick break, and we'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest? Or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page, and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
WYXR Crosstown Brewing Company and Mempho Presents bring you Jerry Day at Crosstown Brewing on Saturday, August 3rd from 1 to 8 p.m.
The day features live music from Left Unsung, Captain Midnight, and the Walt Phelan Band, plus a mini shakedown street featuring Grateful Dead-inspired vendors and specials from Crosstown Brewing's kitchen.
More information can be found at wyxr.org/events.
Located on the second floor of the Crosstown Concourse, the Memphis Listening Lab is a nonprofit collection of music and music history that is open to the public every Tuesday through Sunday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Boasting an eclectic collection of tens of thousands of LPs and 45s, a state-of-the-art sound room, and various vinyl and streaming listening stations, our free library has something for music lovers of all stripes. More information and the complete listing of upcoming events is available at memphislisteninglab.org.
Sunset Jazz at Court Square is a free, family-friendly jazz concert series hosted by Just Jazzin', located at 62 North Main in downtown Memphis. The series is held annually, every second Sunday of May through October, featuring a lineup of jazz artists showcasing different styles from straight ahead to swing. More information can be found at sunsetjazzmemphis.com. Support for WYXR, including our 2024 stereo sessions, comes from VIA Productions. Founded in 2003, VIA specializes in audience engagement, creating all types of video and audio content ranging from animation to documentaries. More information on how VIA can bring your brand story to life at viaproductions.co.
Located on the second floor of the Crosstown Concourse, the Memphis Listening Lab is a curated collection of music and music history that is open to the public 6 days a week. Final Happy Hour happens every Friday between 3 and 5 p.m., where guest DJs from around the community will spin some of their favorite records. More information and a complete listing of upcoming events at memphislisteninglab.org.
Shannon and Cecilia here. Do you love stories featuring community changemakers in Memphis? Don't miss Just Bluffin', a feel-good podcast found online in the WYXR Podcast Network.
Access all our podcasts at WYXR.org. Yo, it's Chemist here, host of Computer Noise Radio, and I'm here today to ask you to consider donating to WYXR. When you donate to WYXR, you're no longer merely a listener. You're a vital part of our WYXR community. Becoming a member is incredibly valuable for community radio, allowing us to budget, plan, and increase the ways we serve Memphis. Join us in shaping the future of local radio now at WYXR.org/donate.
Laser Live returns to the Memphis Museum of Science and History, and this year, WYXR DJs are in the mix. The series features live bands in the AutoZone Sharp Planetarium set to a laser light show. Each show will also showcase a set by a WYXR host, and refreshments from Crosstown Brewing Company will be available. More information can be found at moshmemphis.com.
WYXR doesn't go to sleep at night. We keep the music moving. Memphis music, that is. When our DJs clock out, our automation clocks in with music right from our community. Produced, performed, and written by Memphians, or in Memphis. Some are hits, and some are rarely heard, but they all tell the story of one of the world's greatest music cities. Visit WYXR.org for playlist and scheduling information. Email submissions@WYXR.org to let us hear your Memphis music. We may just play it.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
Welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this hot and steamy Monday evening in the city. Chip with you, and glad to have you along with us. If you are checking us out this evening, you know we're a podcast, right? So if you missed the broadcast, or say if you were streaming on Facebook Live and you missed it, you can always go back and check that out. But the show will be posted in a couple of days, and wherever you get your podcast, because everybody has a podcast and everybody listens to them, you can find us under Real Talk Memphis. So I'm told that it doesn't look like our second guest is going to make it tonight for maybe some technical reasons, or which happens every now and again. Melanie Keller from Maritan was supposed to join us and talk about some funding that they got to help people, to support folks who are taking care of other people with dementia. That is a very tough issue for so many people. And once upon a time, it was something that no one really talked about. But now it is becoming more of an issue across this country, and so many people are affected with it that more organizations are helping each other to find ways, not only for cures, but even to help to take care of dementia patients, because there's a lot that goes into caring for a sick relative, whether it's dementia or whether it's anything else out here. But hopefully we will be able to align the stars and get her on the show back down the road. But I want to talk about something that I was thinking about a lot over the weekend in reference to what happened Saturday night to former President Trump. We have seen in this election cycle some very hostile and very intentionally fiery rhetoric, the conversation, the language, the divisiveness that we have seen has translated to this country. And we have seen us as a people under one flag turn separate. We turn against each other. Racism is rearing its ugly head. Sexism. We're talking about religious bias and a lot of other things such as that. As a nation, we just seem to be almost at a boiling point right now in terms of emotions and how we deal with each other, how we talk to each other, and just about living together as different people under one umbrella. This has become a society, and you heard over and over again, there is no place for this type of violence. The shooting that happened and the assassination attempt, it's not the first time this has happened in this country, but again, when we see things like this, it lets you know that there is a certain tenor in this country, and not just one political candidate needs to calm down. Everybody needs to calm down. If this is a moment for Donald Trump to bring down the heat, this would be a good time to do it. God's grace is extended to everybody, but he can also get your attention as well. What happened Saturday was an attention getter for both he and President Biden, who are in a big race. There's been a lot of conversation about who wins. If this person wins, this is going to happen. If this person wins, Project 2025 and the whole 9 yards. I think everybody needs to sit back and calm down and take a breath, because where we are right now, we are at an inflection point in this country. And not only here, this translates around the world. We don't want to see anybody get hurt. Nobody wants to see people get shot, wounded or anything. And our prayers, our sincere prayers go out to the victim of Saturday night's shooting. And we are also praying for the recovery of the other two individuals that were wounded in this. It says something when a 20 years old, makes the conscious decision to take an assault rifle and go to a rally where thousands of people gathered and start shooting. We will never know what his reason was, because he's no longer here to tell his story. But it says something about all of us and how we need, and remember this: words matter. Words matter, and we use words so cavalierly sometimes, and we say things, and then you can't. Once you say it, you can't put it back in your mouth. But words matter, and how you talk to people, how you address folks, and how you approach individuals, all that stuff matters. And if we're going to try to move forward as a country after these elections in November, no matter who you vote for. And first of all, go vote. Go vote. You don't like the way things are. The best way to change that is to vote. Get out, and if you're not registered to vote, do that and vote in these elections. But no matter how it comes out, one way or the other, we have to settle for what the answer is going to be, and then we have to try to move forward as a collective union of people and try to get along. Rodney King, and many of you may or may not know of him, a man who was beaten by 4 police officers in Los Angeles back in the early 90s, almost beaten to death, said, and he survived, he said, famously, can we all just get along? And that's where we are today. Can we all just get along? I don't care if you're a Republican, I don't care if you're an independent, I don't care if you're a Democrat. There's not a whole hill of beans difference between any of them. The bottom line to it is, how are we going to move forward in this country? How are we going to move forward? Together or separated? And that is the big question that we need to answer. And with that, I'm going to take another break, and we're going to prepare for our next guest. This is Real Talk Memphis. I'm Chip. Whether you agree or you disagree with what I just had to say, I thank you for listening. And let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Support for WYXR comes from March 1 Music, presenting Billy Strings performing 2 nights in Memphis at FedEx Forum, December 6th and 7th. Tickets on sale now. More information at billystrings.com.
Hi, this is Clark Ortiz with Crosstown Brewing Company. You already know we're passionate about beer, and now we've added food on tap. Our new kitchen is open inside the brewery, serving wings, pizza, burgers, and more. Open for lunch Wednesday through Sunday at 11 o'clock a.m. Food and beer, a perfect match, just like our partnership with WYXR. More information at crosstownbeer.com.
Programming on WYXR is brought to you by a grant from Arts Memphis, who has invested $94 million into our local arts community to teach, uplift, unite, and engage Memphians of all ages and zip codes.
Gonerfest 21 is coming September 26th through the 29th to Rail Garden. The annual musical festival put on by Goner Records brings bands from all over the world to Memphis to celebrate rock and roll in the city where it was born. This year's lineup includes the Ripoffs, John Spencer, Derv Gordon, Felder Space, GT, Rosalie, Split System, and more, live and in person. Tickets and more information at gonerfest.com.
Thanks for tuning in to WYXR 91.7 FM. Chris Rowling here, host of Dippin' Your Hip on Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. As a listener-supported station, WYXR thrives on your support, not just as listeners, but as active contributors. So, I'm asking you to become a sustaining member today. Head on over to wyxr.org/donate and hit that donate button to keep your favorite WYXR DJs and hosts on the airwaves. Plus, our monthly donors get their own WYXR merch and a ton of other perks. Our way of saying thanks. Visit wyxr.org/donate today, become a monthly donor, and let's help keep the station with the city soul going strong.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday evening. Chip with you, and very happy to have my next guest. Many of you are familiar, no doubt, with Memphis Area Legal Services. They are the primary provider of civil legal representation to low-income families in Western Tennessee and some of the surrounding areas. And recently, they selected a brand new CEO, and we are welcoming her to our show this evening. Her name is Nicole Grida. And Nicole, it is great to see you. It is great to meet you, and welcome to Real Talk Memphis. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well. I'm really excited to be here. Thanks for the invitation, and excited to tell you more about my vision for the organization.
Well, absolutely. Thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to be here. And of course, the organization of which you now helm has been around for a long time, the Memphis Area Legal Services. And of course, many people need legal representation but can't afford legal representation, and that is why your organization is so important. Now, as you recently named the CEO, obviously there were some things within the organization that you saw that first attracted you to this, and let's just start there. What attracted you to want to be a part of this organization?
Absolutely. Access to justice has been something that I've been passionate about for a very long time. I don't think one's ability to afford an attorney should hinder their ability to know their legal rights. And so, as far back as I can remember, my family instilled values in me to make sure that we're serving our community. And so, starting in law school, I was involved in various legal clinics that afforded opportunities to law students, carrying through to when I moved to Memphis over 18 years ago. I got involved with Memphis Area Legal Services as a volunteer attorney, handling cases pro bono. Also had an opportunity to serve on various boards of directors and committees that are focused on access to justice. So when there was an opportunity to make this my day job, so to speak, I thought that was a perfect fit for my skill set and just the next step in my career. So I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to head up this organization that just provides such critical services to the community at large.
Absolutely that. And, you said that, you were raised, by your family. And it obviously seems, based on what you just said, that you do have a heart for service to others. So now that you are the leader of this group, as you look forward, what are some of the things that you are looking to do? What are some of the improvements that you're looking to make? And what can people expect under your helm of leadership?
Absolutely. So I see this as an opportunity to stabilize, strengthen, and sustain the organization. So in terms of stabilizing, I'm looking at everything we do and how we do it, and are there better ways and more efficient ways to do it. In terms of strengthening, I'm looking at our existing grant sources, additional funding opportunities, and how we can leverage those in order to strengthen the organization. And then sustaining, moving forward, I want to put all those pieces together so that we continue to remain true to our mission to provide excellence in legal advocacy for those in need.
How difficult is funding? As you mentioned, funding is one of the things that you wanted to focus on. Has that been an issue in the past in terms of getting adequate funding for your organization so you can be able to do more with what you have for so many in need in our communities?
Yeah, I think in the nonprofit world in general, funding is always a top tier concern. When it comes to legal services, there certainly are additional challenges. Most law firms are for-profit law firms. We are a not-for-profit law firm. So when we're looking at funding, we're not only looking at opportunities that may be before us that we haven't utilized in the past, but we're also looking to make sure that our existing funders have confidence in our ability to meet the terms of their grants for our corporate donors, make sure that we're advancing the reasons for which they have chosen to invest in us. And then for our individual donors, we're making sure that, again, we're meeting them where they are, we're providing them with information as they ask for it, just so that they know that every dollar that comes in the door is being used as efficiently as possible and to the mission of providing that civil legal assistance to those in need.
So let's just break this down in ways that a lot of us are familiar with. Memphis is economically challenged in a lot of ways. Poverty is a big issue. Economics is a big issue in our city. We all know that. And so that makes, even to me, in looking at what you do, and more importantly, what you just said, makes what you do even more vital and even more important for this community. Am I correct in that?
100%. Poverty is very much an issue in Memphis, in Shelby County, as well as the other 3 counties that we serve, Fayette, Tipton, and Lauderdale. And it's something that, as the price of everything has increased, one's ability to afford an attorney to represent them in civil legal matters has also increased. So we can't talk about what we do without getting to the root of some of those issues and getting to the root of providing people with the opportunities to get better paying jobs, to be able to get to and from those jobs, and to be able to put some things that may be affecting their ability to get a better paying job behind them, whether it's an eviction, whether it's a child support matter, whether it is a consumer debt that they, have been trying to, get to the bottom of, get to the root of. Those are just a few of the things that we assist people with day in and day out.
moving forward, based on what you just said, moving forward for many people is very difficult. This is a very real thing, and that's why I really I love the organizations like yours, because there are challenges that people face. If it's not one thing, it's this, and you're trying to get to another level, and then something happens on the back end, and you have problems, and then all of a sudden those problems become more magnified, and that is really what the value of your organization is in terms of providing real, useful, honest information for people to be able to try to move forward. And that sounds to me like something that you want to continue to do. Do you think that many people are aware of what you all provide in terms of your office and your services that you all provide, as attorneys, handling various cases on a daily basis? Is the community that needs you the most aware of what you do on a daily basis?
I mean, I think there's always opportunity to make sure more people know that there are options out there for assistance. So certainly we do legal clinics in the community. We do other community outreach. So, if you're listening and you're a member of a church or you're a member of another community organization and you'd like to hear a little bit about your rights as a tenant, your rights as a consumer, your rights as it pertains to child custody or getting a divorce or, protecting yourself if you're in an abusive situation, those are the types of things that we do. And I think it's important for folks to know their rights so that if something is happening that is contrary to those rights, then we can take the necessary action steps, or we can put you in touch with another community partner who may be able to provide you with those services. But a lot of times we find that people simply don't know what their rights are, and sometimes we're just providing them with advice and counsel on what their rights are, and other times we're representing them, in a litigated lawsuit or in a, matter with respect to one of those areas I just identified.
Is that one of the things, Nicole, that you're really looking ahead to? Providing information to people who don't know, having an opportunity to be able to talk to groups and organizations and churches and other places that have heard of Memphis Area Legal Services but don't know exactly how useful you can be in certain circumstances. Is that one of the things that you want to do, reach out more to more people inside our community?
Absolutely. I mean, I think collaboration is key to where I see that I can provide value to the organization in my new role as the CEO. There are so many great organizations, whether they're faith-based organizations, whether they're neighborhood-based organizations, or, any other type of organization that provides, advice and counsel and assistance to folks. But I think we can all do a better job of collaborating with one another so that we can let people know what resources are out there, whether it is the resources we provide as Memphis Area Legal Services, or it's resources that the Community Legal Center provides, whether it's resources that the Hospitality Hub provides. And I could just go through a list of community partners that we work with. But I think the big part is making sure that people know there are resources out there. There are opportunities to, better your situation. And there are opportunities to turn to us when, you need that assistance in those civil legal matters, like we've spoken about tonight.
Nicole Grida, she is the new CEO of Memphis Area Legal Services. Nicole, great pleasure to meet you. Congratulations on your new position. And we know that you will be a benefit not only to the organization, but to so many people who need your services. Thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. I always enjoy talking to people, and I hope that we can continue to provide excellence in legal advocacy for those in need for many, many years to come.
Thanks so much, Nicole. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And thanks for coming on the show tonight. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There's the show. Now, before I get out of here, I want to pay tribute to an individual, and I didn't do it earlier. The University of Memphis is deeply saddened by the passing of Luther C. McClellan. He was a member of the Memphis State 8, and he was the first African-American to graduate at, well, I guess back then, Memphis State. And he was the first African-American to graduate. He was a trailblazer for the university and a beloved member of the Tiger family. His perseverance paved the way for many and allowed the U of M to become the institution it is today. He will be missed and forever remembered. Luther C. McClellan, a member of the Memphis State 8 and the first African American to graduate from that institution. Well, that does it for this edition of Real Talk Memphis as Lola plays us out. Been a great show. Really appreciate you being here as always. If you missed any part of the broadcast, you can catch it on my Facebook page. We live streamed the show tonight if you want to take a look at it. Or you can check it out when the podcast posts in another day or two. You can always, wherever it is you get your podcast, give us a listen. If you like what we do here, if you like what we talk about, if you like the guests that we provide, and we have some good ones tonight, Dr. Christopher Davis, I'm still thinking about him. That was a great interview. Please let other folks know. Tell them to check out Real Talk Memphis every Monday night right here on WYXR 91.7 on your FM dial. In the meantime, in between time, try to stay as cool as you can because it's summertime in Memphis, Tennessee. We all know what that means. So for all of us here at Real Talk Memphis, for Bryn, for Lola, by the way, you should be checking out her show right before ours, Level Lola, each and every Monday from 5 to 6 p.m. And yours truly, we appreciate you as always. And until next time, we are out. Be safe. Take care.